G'day folks, Chris McLean back with another episode, and in the studio today I've got Richard from Chirp. They can visit their brochure website and connect with their buyers where they are in their customer journey, and they believe that a fundamental shift is needed to succeed, and that shift is a shift of a mindset, right? From shifting their customers' mindset from always be closing, the good old ABC, to always be human. And Richard has literally written the book on always being human. So looking forward to this conversation. Richard, thanks so much for dropping by the studio and joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Chris.
So take us through the always be human philosophy and Chirp. You go back to the start. How did sort of Chirp start, and then how did you sort of shift into this necessity for human connection?
Yeah, so Chirp started in 2008, and we started as pretty much just a creative design agency. Right. And within a few years, I noticed a shift, and I noticed that there was this shift towards digital, and we started getting into doing websites and, just kind of building them. And what ended up happening was I started noticing this trend that a lot of websites out there, they get built, they look fantastic, but then nothing happens with them after that. And then it's usually 2-3 years goes by, and then the company's like, hey, I want to redesign my site. The problem with that is it's inherently risky because you miss out on a lot of opportunity. You're not listening to your customers, you're not getting that feedback loop, and you kind of get stuck just with this basic, what I refer to as brochure website. And when I started looking at that and saying, like, how can we help our customers more and help them more efficiently? It came down to making these incremental updates to their site over shorter periods of time that kind of help drive conversion. Like, so the sole focus here is to help our customers get more customers. And by listening to what their buyers were saying to them, we were able to adapt their websites, make them more dynamic, even make almost personalized websites. So every time somebody comes to that website, it's 100% personalized to them after the first time they come there. So they're seeing content that's relevant to them. Their journey is mapped out. It's very effective, and you're connecting at every level. So nice. That was all good. Mm-hmm. And then about a year ago, what I noticed was we're getting all these leads to these companies, and there's two situations that are typically to occur. One is they've got a bucket full of leads and they're acting on them right away, which is great, or they're not acting on them at all. Now, in the first scenario, when they're acting on them right away, the sales team wasn't doing anything to really connect with that buyer. They're like, I got a lead, I want to act on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what ends up happening is the strategy ends up having to get updated so frequently because buyers aren't stupid. They're actually really smart. And they were catching on to these tactics. So when we made this fundamental shift and realization that, hey, if we actually build this out from the customer's point of view, from your marketing to your sales, and go all the way to creating advocates for your business, if we can make this shift to be human about it, not like pushy sales guy or snake oil salesman, you have a greater opportunity at client retention. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where always be human comes from. So we go through this process. It's about a series of 7 workshops with our client, where we do everything from remap out their entire business from the point of view of the customer. We dive deep into their persona. So I call this making them your best friend, getting a really good understanding of them. And we just kind of keep pushing it along to really get an understanding of who their buyer is, so that when marketing's putting their messaging out, that message is there and it's driving the right people in to the sales team. How are they communicating with those customers? To your customer service teams, how are they communicating? And it's this holistic approach all the way across the board. So that's really where that comes from.
Yeah. I think that's a great approach, and having a lot of conversations recently around this idea of more human agencies, right, and just more human business. And so have a massive exponential drive towards tech, and obviously digital's become much more rampant in the last 18 months or so. People that weren't already digital sort of been forced into the space, and that has positives and negatives. But I think that the negative or the downside of that is a lot of people, whether it's on the agency side or on the client side, can just miss that long-term, sustainable, human-to-human, genuine relationship. And exactly what you're saying, like we shift to always be closing. Here's a lead, here's a sale, get sales in the door. Let's just pound the sales side and forget about the softer skills, right? The branding, the marketing, the awareness, the positioning, that kind of stuff can go by the by. Why do you think customers miss that? Why do they end up focused on sales? Or when you come into a business, why do you find that they're missing that kind of fundamental human relationship? Is because they're chasing sales too much, or they just haven't done that stuff?
I think it's a combination of a few things. One of those being, where a lot of businesses are looking for this magic pill to solve every problem, and they got to get that this magic pill doesn't exist. First off, it's going to solve today's problems, but there's a book I was reading recently and goes, today's answers rarely solve yesterday's problems. So it's not that magic pill. It's not something that's going to carry you forward long term. In 6 months, there's going to be a new tactic that's effective, and you're going to be jumping on that bandwagon. If you come back to it, though, to why it does work, is because we're actually creating this connection. And we're in this time right now with COVID. Everything is through Zoom. And it still lacks that connection, even though we can talk face to face. We're not like sitting down having a pint, right? So you're not building that relationship. So if we can naturally build up our clients in a way that creates that know, like, and trust factor, then we've got a huge opportunity to deliver. And I think the biggest thing is most businesses today have been looking at their business from a revenue point of view rather than an impact point of view. Because we don't sell products, we sell transformation. We want to take somebody from a less than ideal state of mind, where they are today, to where they want to be. That's every single business, every single product that's out there. So we're delivering impact, we're delivering transformation. And if all we do is we're looking at the numbers, we're going to miss the boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I really like what you're saying. I like that that analogy. And there definitely is it's this weird kind of thing where if you do have that longer term, slower burn, more obviously when you're starting out, right, you might be making less sales in the short to medium term, but over a lifetime of a business, you build that genuine human connection, you build those relationships. Eventually you kind of catalyze this avalanche of know, like, and trust, as you're saying. Is that kind of the reason you think that businesses and agencies don't build that way? They sort of look at, well, short term, I need to get clients, so I'm not willing to invest in that longer term solution. And as you said, that shiny object syndrome comes down, like, oh, what's working today? What's organic on Facebook? I'm going to do that.
Yeah, because they're looking at, how can I solve today's problem? They're not like thinking about what's coming down the pipe. And if we can start to see bigger picture and operate from bigger picture, it's easier to work backwards than it is to work from the small scope that's today. So that, I guess that's really the short answer of it. But I think, I saw a post today on social and I was responding to it, and they said, would you rather have a large quantity of clients, or would you rather have quality clients? And I responded with, well, can't I have a large quantity of quality clients? Why does it have to be one or the other?
It's a binary, yeah.
Right? So if you can spend the time nurturing these people, because a deal lost isn't a deal lost. It's just a not right now. So if you can spend the time nurturing these and building that relationship, they'll eventually come back around when they're ready to jump back into that journey. It just means today they're not ready. So if we can nurture that and create that relationship and create a space where they feel comfortable with you, you're always going to be top of mind. They're always going to come back. And then it's not, because if you're not shoving the sale down their throat when they're not ready, right? Because if you're not doing that, then when they come about to being ready, they're going to jump on it.
Because you haven't shoved the sale, said, look, that's fine, it's not the right fit right now. If and when you're ready, come back. And there's a hard thing for businesses to do, right? It can be a hard thing to say no.
Yeah,
it can be hard. How have you, like, this perspective? There's not a lot of businesses that have this sort of similar perspective, that you're coming from longer term, sustainable vision, slow burn, building that book of business slowly over time. Obviously, delaying gratification, right? Instant gratification is what everybody wants today. They want the sale today, the customer today, the thing that's going to work tomorrow. How have you built that perspective? Is that just natural to you, that's just how you see the world and how you've always operated, or was there something that you read or something you came across that you built that? How have you developed this perspective?
I developed it with a lot of pain. So let's put it this way. When I started Chirp, I was the hustler. I was killing myself to get that next deal. If it was nearing the end of the month and I needed to make rent, I'd go out and literally knock on doors just so that I can get in. I was just grinding it. And around 10 years ago, it took its toll on my health because I was working 80 to 20 hours a day. I got really sick. I was tired. And then ultimately depressed because I felt like I just wasn't making a difference and I was burnt out. There's really no way around it. I'm like, you know what? I just want to shut this all down. Yeah. And what I came to realize, and even from that point, it took many years from 24 to 34 to even realize I was focused on the wrong things. I was focusing my time on finding clients, fulfilling those clients, then finding new clients and fulfilling. It was just this cycle. I never focused on the business. I never focused on what my dream was. And essentially what I did was I created a job for myself. And
and a tough job too.
A tough job. And the fact that with that grind, and I'm sure you've talked to other agency owners that have been in different stages of their journey. At that time, I was maybe charging $1,500, $3,000 tops for what I did. And I was doing the same thing that these big mega agencies were doing for hundreds of thousands of dollars, doing the exact same things. And it took somebody telling me that I was an idiot to realize I was being an idiot. And luckily she's my wife. And she's like, you could be doing a lot better than this. Not that I was doing anything wrong, but she's like, you just don't value yourself enough in this, and it's become transactional. So once I started valuing myself, I started doing personal development and saying, there's a world out here that's looking for change. Can I be the catalyst for that change? So I started operating from that level versus the grind level, and almost like overnight, my entire business shifted. And I started focusing on the clients that I could help by listening to them, listening to their problems. What an idea, eh? Listening to somebody's problems.
Fascinating. Amazing how that works.
It is. And all of a sudden it changed. So I wasn't dealing with clients that were $3,000 because $3,000 clients bring 3,000 problems. I was dealing with clients that had a lot more skin in the game because they actually valued what I was talking about. So I had more conversations. We got connected on the level of what are our values? What are the things you want to impact in this world? And that's where I started focusing my energy. And then everything kind of just shifted along with it. And then I just kept my ear out to what's going on in the world and started shifting how I wanted to deliver. Eventually to the point where I'm not like full-time in my business every day now. I can actually step back and I can enjoy an evening out with my family. I can take time for me, and that's all I want for other people. So I started teaching what I was learning myself, and then that started making a difference for those businesses as well. So we shifted again from being an agency to more of a marketing and sales consultancy where we want to help you get that freedom and time back in your life, because it's not about the dollars at the end of the day. You can't take it with you.
Can't take it with you. Snap. Yeah, that 100%. It's amazing that, right? When you actually slow down and take a step back, you get much more productive, you get much more effective, you get aligned, you get vision and mission and purpose and time back, right, to spend on your life outside of work. And you've still managed to build your business, service better customers.
And at the end of the day, I enjoy what I do again. Because when I was hustling, I didn't enjoy it.
When you're hustling, yeah, it's this weird thing, isn't it? There's the hustle and grind. There's this weird felt sense that you're being really effective because you're just on it, you're doing, you're pushing, making things, you're making shit happen. But your biology really doesn't want to function that way. And as you said, eventually it does end up in health problems. It ends up in burnout. Your body shuts down and goes, look, this isn't how we want to operate. So when you're burning the candle at both ends and you're doing those 18, 20-hour days, 70, 80, 100-hour weeks, there's a felt sense that you're crushing it because you're doing really massive drop-off compared to if you just had a steady state 35-hour week, right? No, just more effective and more efficient with your time and your focus and your energy and attention, all that critical stuff. It's amazing. Slowing down, do more with less.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Living case study. So obviously you sort of spoken about just the personal and life benefits of that. How did you said your business changed overnight? What did that look like in your business? So it's very hard to like your business and you stop having fun when you're in that just hustle, grind, push. The business fun in again. How did that feel? And then what was the actual business uptick from that? You said you were able to sell higher ticket programs, work with better clients. What did that growth look like for you?
Within about 2 to 3 months of so we've had about 5-6 shifts. It was what I would call it in the last 2 years. And we went from last year, we had 365% growth over the whole year. And then this year we've already done 400% growth and we're only in May. And so in terms of numbers, I mean, that's phenomenal. It's not something that happens every day and it takes work to do it. Amazing. The difference though that it's done is I've learned to set boundaries. I've gotten more protective of my time. You can't just book me any time of the day. There's certain days. I have certain days for fulfillment. I have certain days for sales calls. I got certain days for whatever. My entire day is blocked off for different things throughout the week. And my purpose is to build this up so that I'm not even in the picture anymore. That's the ultimate goal. So how it's been changing is I've got that objective. I don't want to be inside the business. I still want the business, but I don't want to be in it. And everything else is I'm building action steps on a weekly, daily basis to get myself to that goal. And I mean, it couldn't come sooner, but that's what's changed is I'm very much more protective of my time. I'm more protective of the clients that I bring on because I don't want clients. I want partners. I want to help you succeed. So how am I going to do that? And if I'm sitting there drilling myself, hustling just to bring in all the dollars every month, it's not viable. I'll burn out again. So what it looks like is I get to have more time with my family. That's what it looks like. And I think that's, even for the single people that might be tuning in, more time with your friends, more time to go on that camping trip that you keep putting off.
Yeah.
And that's
more time for hobbies
that's
and
the vision.
Life outside of work, right? Easy to forget as entrepreneurs that there is actually life outside of work, and that having that balance is there's possibility to have that work-life alignment, right? To have work on one side and to actually buy back time. And love everything that you're saying, that sectioning off and batching out your weeks and becoming unavailable, stepping back and saying no and eliminating and all of that stuff sounds counterintuitive, but you say when you do that and you get hyper focused, 300-400% growth in business that's no joke.
Well, and I think the part that really it rang true and it keeps coming back to me every time is when I say no to a project. Because what used to kill me was somebody would say, hey, it's Tuesday. I know it's short notice, but I really need this for Thursday or Friday. And I'd be like, yeah, man, no problem. I'll take care of you. And then Thursday or the end of the week is showing up when this thing is due. And all I can do is cuss out the fact that I'm doing this project, how stupid it is. Like, that's not how you want to operate. Right.
Yeah.
So I've started recognizing like those key moments. And it's like, you know what? Unfortunately, I don't have capacity. It's just no way. So why am I going to put myself through it? And the clarity that brought was just because I can do X, Y, Z, just because I can do all these different things doesn't mean I have to. I can say no, and it's okay. And that was probably one of the most valuable lessons that I could have learned. And, 15, 18 years in business, somewhere in there, it's only something I've learned in the last few years.
So. Yeah, it takes time. I said it can take, like you said, going through something pretty traumatic and having shit fall apart that you reassess and go, actually, that did not. So what's the opposite, right? What else can I try? How else can I look at this thing? And it's often that weird dichotomy when you step back, you slow down, you eliminate, you say no, you get really rigorous about, I start here and end here, and that's it. This is fixed. This is the hour for that. This is the day I'm doing that. I'm uncontactable between these hours. If you want to call me, it's between 11 and 1 and between 3 and 5. That's where I'm going to pick up the phone. Stuff like that seems really almost nonsensical. Like, yeah, but people need me. People need me. I've got to be replying to messages. I've got to be in my Slack channel 24/7, or my customers, I'm going to lose customers. Maybe you can attest to this. There's sort of an energetic shift that happens when you start to say no, that actually just creates a space for better things to show up. Is that true?
Yeah,
is that what you found to be true?
That's 100% true. Because I remember being in that case, like checking my email constantly, checking my text messages, checking my DMs, and saying those things like, my client needs to hear back from me. They need to, like, I need to be on top of this. And my wife said to me, because she came into the business to help project manage it. She's basically come in and help retool the whole business, and now she's off doing her own business. But essentially, she says to me, she's like, who said you have to do that? Who said they're going to leave? If they want you bad enough, they'll call you back. If they want you to reach out to them, they'll leave a voicemail. You don't need to look at your phone every 10 minutes. So I stopped doing it. And I actually set up timers on my phone. I have 3 timers, one at 9:45, one at 12:15, and one at 3:45. Those are the times I check my email. My clients know this, and they know if they need to get a hold of me in an urgent case, call me and leave a voicemail. I'll get back to them. They know. Nothing is urgent enough, barring like my entire business is down for some reason, but nothing is urgent enough that it can't take 24 hours to respond. And when I took that on, it's like, whoo, all this weight was on my shoulders.
Yeah. You essentially, you're a slave to the client, right? At that point, the client's in control, and you're responding to their whim, and you're just in reactive mode. You're in responsive mode, and your life and your business is not your own at that point, right?
Like, why did I start my own business? To have a boss?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Well, not just one boss, right? 5 bosses, 10 bosses, 20 bosses telling you what to do and being. I think it's a craft to make, and I love that you've come through the ringer and come to terms and understood that this is sort of the way forward. And love seeing the benefits of it, that by actually just stepping back, saying no, becoming uncontactable, it actually grows your business and gives you that opportunity to have a life outside of work whilst your business is growing in significant ways, right? Big numbers, good growth. You're not hustling, you're not grinding. Actually, it's fun. Your work's fun and life's fun.
Yeah, and if you think about it, every time, so you're in the midst of fulfilling on a project, right? Every time you stop to check that text message, to check that email, that's 5 to 10 minutes of time to even look at it and respond to it. And then it's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to get back into the groove. So you've almost lost an hour every time you check out of what you're doing. Yeah. So you tally that up. Let's say you're losing 2 hours a week or 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month. Where does the time go? That's time that you could actually be using to get the shit done, but then also build your business. I get so much time back.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the distraction number I get people to look at is exactly that thing, that multitasking, even just having a notification come up, right? And even if you don't check it, you still get that little dopamine hit, but you also get that distraction of your attention just goes there for a second and you start thinking, oh shit, is that a client? Do I have to respond to that? What if I don't get? All that kicks off in your brain while you're trying to do the task. That's enough to pull you off task, and saying then it takes 10, 15 minutes to get back to some significant amount of focus. But I think most people go through about 50 to somewhere between 50 and 70 about 10 minutes per distraction, with the distraction again back into work. And that's why over an 8-hour workday, most people are getting an hour, maybe 2 hours of actual decent quality work done. Yeah. So say when you get that distraction management done, for every hour, you're actually getting an hour of work done, rather for every hour, you're getting 10, 15 minutes of actual tangible output. And yeah, I love what you're saying. You've actually experienced that is the difference. That's why you can work a 7-hour workday and get much more done than people that are hustling 40 hours, 70 hours a week, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing stuff, man. We'll see this stuff in practice, because this is really what I'm all about, is helping agencies see the light, right? See that by slowing down, there is more in less, by eliminating everything other than the essential stuff, that they can end up in a really positive place and actually enjoy their life and have fun at work. So it's great to see a living case study in yourself. And I love what you're saying about the always be human. And you've literally written the book on always be human. Take us to wrap the show. Take us through your ebook. You've written the book, Always Be Human. What's that about, and what can people?
Yeah. So what the ebook is about, it's not. So what it's not a how-to guide. It's not like a tactical thing. There's no tactics in the book. What it is, it's really a guide to help you shift your mindset from that methodology of always be closing, pushing the sale, using tactics, all that. And what it is a guide to help you connect with your buyer at this level that you never thought possible. Get this empathetic view of your customer's world. And then what you can take from that book, there's resources within that book that you can download, and exercises that you can do. And you can take that and you can start applying it to your marketing strategy. You can start applying it to your sales strategy, and just take it a step further into your business and your ethos, and make it part of your culture. It's something about intentionality. How can you be more intentional in what you're doing? And you can grab a copy of it off of our website. I see the link is scrolling by there. But just grab a copy off the website. Make sure if you grab the ebook to also grab the resources, because you're able to start putting that into practice right away.
Yeah. Amazing. And I will, as always, I'll drop those links in the show notes so people can smash on one of those and go grab a. Other than the ebook, where's the best place for people to come and connect with you? Again, a few places up on screen, but for those that are listening, where are the best places for people to come and connect with you and build some humanity back into their business?
Probably one of the quickest places to get in touch with me is right on Facebook, facebook.com/Richard David Walsh. I don't want to say I live on social media, but that's probably the quickest way to get slide into my conversation stream as quick as possible. You can also reach out to me through our website, thechirp.ca. Those are really the two primary places where you can find me. And then I'm always just kind of hanging out. I also hang out on Clubhouse at Brandmaster. I'm always open for chit chat.
Amazing. Love it. If you want some more humanity, you want to talk to Rich about getting some time back into your business, into your life, get that 400% growth in your business while enjoying your life, enjoying your business, getting the fun back in there, reach out and connect with him. Richard, again, love seeing a living case study of all this good stuff. And thank you so much for the insights and dropping by the show and bringing your amazing vibes. It's been really great chatting to you. I've enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me here, Chris. This was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks. We'll catch you guys on the next.